Called a member for Macquarie.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I listened to this debate as a small business owner, someone who for 25 years ran my own business. And what's more, I'm one of those people who grew up in small business, in a mum and dad small business that those opposite so often like to talk about. But what they're not saying is that what they are saying and what they're doing is simply raising fear amongst businesses, which is the last thing those businesses deserve right now. We know that they're coping with increased costs like everybody is. They know their workers are coping with increased costs of living. You know, we all recognise it, and it's no time to sit there and say, let's do nothing. That's what those opposite did for a decade nearly. They said, let's just not do anything. Let's just kind of see what happens. Let's just make sure that big businesses continue to roll in big profits by not paying their workers what is so justly deserved. And let's just kind of ignore small business and keep telling them that we're their friends because, you know, small business, quite frankly, is so busy they don't have time really to listen to anyone saying anything. What they do is they live their businesses. And I just think it's really underhand of those opposite. They should be ashamed of the fear-mongering that they're doing, and I recognise they're scrabbling for relevance, but please do not use small business as to try and score some sort of political point. We know on this side that businesses have dealt with a lot over the last nearly decade. In my electorate, they've dealt with fire, the biggest fire from a single ignition point that the world has ever seen, and businesses suffered, not because they caught on fire, not because they burnt, but because smoke kept their customers away. We then faced floods, flood after flood after flood. Some people call it 6 floods, but in essence we've had 3 natural disasters declared for our flooding. So in 2.5 years, 4 natural disasters. So, you can bet that small businesses are not saying, hey, these are the best days of our lives. So as someone who grew up in business, as someone who ran a business for 25 years, and I admit I didn't get close to the threshold that those opposite often want to ascribe to small business, which is $50 million turnover a year. I didn't quite get to that. I got to a few $1 million turnover a year, but I didn't quite make it to 50. And I employed women who then went on to set up their own businesses, and I supported them and helped them to build their own businesses. And there are incredible small businesses out there now who've been able to, once I've moved out of it, take over where I left off. And these are the people that this side opposite are scaring. It's completely unnecessary. I mean, I think that we've heard today one of the biggest letdowns for small business was the decision that those opposite made on NBN to turn it from something that was going to provide universal access to fibre for nearly everyone and nearly every small business into this hodgepodge, which personally for my business totally took away the possibility of growing the way I had hoped to from my base in the Blue Mountains. I've had offices in the Sydney CBD, in King Street and in that Sydney CBD sector for many, many, many years. But I thought, OK, this is going to allow my business to have the power of being in a city, but with the ability to work from a peri-urban area. And quite frankly, those opposite, had I still been in business, those opposite would have taken away that opportunity for me because of their appalling rollout of NBN. So, when those opposite talk about us and, some sort of thinking that we don't speak to small businesses, we've never been small businesses, you're completely uninformed. Deputy Speaker, their understanding of those of us who represent our communities here is completely uninformed. And what I'd say is that we know that COSBOA has said the system is too complex. The major problem we have in IR is complexity. What we want to do is give small business access to the things that big business has already got access to. We want to make their lives easier. We want to give them the power to determine their future.